So good afternoon, everyone, today, and we are coming back again to this exciting, and sometimes you might be finding it quite a boring course, personal literature study. But of course, this is quite effective and I would say it's quite good even for me as well. Every time I go with this course, I do learn by myself as well. So you know a lot of information and the systematic way of how to do this literature review. Previously, we had few discussions about doing this setting phase, and now we have talked about how to do this searching with the database and kind of stuff. And today we are dividing our lecture into two portions. The first one is literature review tools, what sort of tools that we can think of, and planning for the literature review. So we have a guest researcher here today, Mushfiqur Rahman. He's from Tampere University, which I already have mentioned you, So he will be showing us about how to use a tool of doing this referencing at the first part of our lectures today. So now I will be sharing the screen, and then we will be going through step by step. Share screen. Right. So these slides will be pretty much small because we have the next planning phase as well. So there are a lot of tools available if you think of about the literature review, how you'll be doing it, how to analyze or even visualizing or even writing your text from taking the journals or conferences that you have been selecting, or how you'll be selecting those. In the context of managing the whole process, the literature review, there is one called Parsifal. I'm going with that a bit later. But then analyzing and visualizing data, there are some tools that are widely used by the researchers, such as you can see the names here: CageCoder, Nails, and ViewsViewer. But this Parsifal is more about the software engineering. In your field, so someone who is not maybe in the software engineering domain, there might be some other web link that could be available. In that case, you can make connection with the network or your line managers or your peer network, which is the most appropriate link for you. Now, managing the references, it's more about the Mendel's Zotero efforts and not. We'll be talking more about this today. And writing your papers, we talk about the templates, how to do this collaborative writing, and sharing your results and data with Senado or even Mendeley. So, as I have mentioned you already about the Parsifal, you can go on this web link and you can find it. You can open an account. So basically, Parsifal, it really is a cool web link that performs systematic literature reviews, which I already have mentioned in the domain of software engineering. And how you can do this is a screenshot from my account that I have. Basically, you just open an account and you can just put just title of that review and the description, and you just save it, and then you can see the review and planning conducting the phase there. Pretty cool. And then when you talk about this visualizing data and kind of stuff, you talk about tools like CageCoder, or even the other tool which I have mentioned at the second slide. What happened with these tools are most of them are free. They don't make money, so it's quite free softwares and recommended by most of the institutions all over the world. So it's like more validated way of doing the systematic research in the context of doing your literature review. And if I think about the CageCoder, it's actually going through more about quantitative content analysis or doing the text mining, if you think of your literature reviewing. Now, we talk about this managing references. This is quite, I'd like to actually spend some time with this because what happened is with the referencing, right? Well, of course, we have been using Mendel's-Zotero efforts EndNote a lot. Sometimes we also do use manual referencing, but with the manual referencing, it really takes time. But if you use this, excuse me, using the tool to do this referencing, this really saves your time and more of systematic way. But it's up to you. Some people likes to do the referencing manually, so like typing by themselves and then taking the reference at the end and even at the beginning as a drafting. Some people choose to use this with the tool. Now, the advantage with this reference tool is, say for example, if your paper gets rejected in a journal or conference that you have submitted, then you are submitting it into another journal or conference. What happens is sometimes some publication have like IEEE or even SCM, they have different reference format style. So someone might be asking Harvard referencing, Oxford referencing, or a lot of style or format. So in that case, if you do the manual referencing, you have to sort of manually type it and it kills your time. But then using the tool, it really saves your time. So now what we will be doing is, I would like to ask Mushfiq that he will be sharing his experience, how he is using Zotero in a way that I think is a reference into the main paper. So Mushfiq will present one of his draft paper that he is going to be submitting soon, or maybe have submitted before. Or let's see what is going on. Mushfiq, can you share your screen, please?
Yes, okay, thanks. Actually, I am writing one of my paper right now, so I can show the what's going on and how I am using this Jotaro referencing software. So yes, you can see that this is the like writing. I wrote some of the introduction part.
Is that paper that you have started? Is it have you submitted it before, or you just?
No, I'm just writing it now. I will submit it like next month probably. So like I just started with the introduction. I manually like mark these references so that I will add like in to Zotero, and then I can change the reference according to the paper. Like if I most probably I'm going to submit in IEEE format conference, so like then I can show you that how I'm using it. So okay, this is just so this like after at first you have to install the Zotero software in your computer, and then you have to have a account. It's a open source software, so is free. So like you can see in this Zotero. Okay, can you see the Zotero other software, or like you like
We can
in
only see the text.
okay, yes. Then I think now you can see the Zotero software.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yes. So this is the Zotero software. It's open source and it's free. And like you just need to have a account there. So like these portions, like you can make a new collection, like for according suppose you are I'm going to submit is a mm, conference. So the new like folder create for this conference, like I'm working is in on like electrodermal activity, like the effect of like this video as a stimuli, like if some participants are watching some sort of like video, like whether it reacts according to the video content. So I'm trying to observe the response, like electrodermal activity response. So okay, so this is at first I made the folder, and now I am going to like, and this Zotero has add-ons, like you can have add-ons in this Chrome. Also you can have add-ons mm, in like mm, and also in this Edge browser actually. So Microsoft Edge browser. So I already installed it, and also I have this mm, the add-on. You can see it. So usually I use Google Scholar to find the paper. So now I'm adding the reference, mm, fast reference. Say so it's pretty simple. That's you just need one to okay. Yes. So there's the option of this add-on. So if you click and then you just select this and select OK. So it will save on this like Zotero uh, software. Like you can see the healthcare uh, wearable device and analysis of the key factor, and this saved in that folder. Like you can choose the folder, which folder you want. I have three folder, but I want to save it in the EDA conference IEEE. So it will save there. And if you see, now I can show you that. Yes, so you can see now this reference comes underneath under this folder like EDA conference, and it also save this section shows that how many references you have, and this section shows that like the details of the paper. Also, if the reference has a PDF, it also save the PDF inside this Zotero software. So then you don't need to find the PDF if it is saved. Like you can just click and you can open the like PDF from the Zotero software as well. And this one, and also you can add the reference from like this from this section. You can add the reference by DOI or ISBN or like PubMed uh, PubMed ID, and also you can add this URL from URL into the reference from for using for further purpose. You can also you like add reference by manually. This is the section you use the manual referencing part. Like sometimes we cannot find the reference, then we want to put the manual like referencing, then we can use this section. So this is the like Zotero part, and also I can show that how I can add it to the paper. So I add fast reference. So into the Zotero. So first I come here, and then there's a add-on for Microsoft Word. I mostly use Word. So from the Zotero, I can use this one. So here we can use the referencing style. Like I will use IEEE format. You can find like some other mostly you initially they give the most popular references. You can also find some other references like okay. Mm, can you see or not the okay anyway, so just 1 minute. So this is the IEEE format I am trying to use. So I select IEEE, and then there you can see that the like the car and some window pop up for Zotero referencing ad. So I will add the first, it says healthcare. So you will see that the new reference has been added here. Like this is the and also from here I can make the referencing bibliography. Okay. Yes. So here at the end, the reference like automatically created in the IEEE format. So you can see the reference. Is it clear? Or do you have any questions? Think I can answer some if the instruction is clear or clumsy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Mika and Abdul, do you have question? Or
Yep.
yeah.
Are we able to export these references from Zotero in Excel file?
We can like we can export the Zotero like references as a mm, like PDF. You can see, and also like export as a library, and we can import from a clipboard, but I don't have any idea like is it possible to export into the Excel, but we can copy the like the doc file from the doc file and paste it into the Excel file.
I also had a quick question. I like writing in LaTeX usually. So does this work with, for example, BibTeX? Can you export it as a BibTeX format?
I think so. Yes.
Oh, that's amazing. Thanks.
Welcome. Any other?
Referencing is one thing. Is it also useful for, I mean, doing some sort of analysis for literature review?
No, this software only provide the referencing support. As far as I know, nothing for
Thank you.
analysis. Like it helps, like as Sana mentioned that, like if suppose I am making the reference for this, IEEE format, but some paper they want Vancouver style referencing. So you don't need to write the reference by yourself. You just select the reference and select the referencing style. Then it will turn into that format. You just look final, but give a check that whether everything is okay or not. But mostly is completely do it automatically, so you don't have to do anything. And also it's easy to like detect any duplication referencing. Like sometimes we add the reference, but we can check that whether we add some reference twice or not, so it can detect the duplicate item. So suppose for my case, I have couple of duplicates in other like folder, so I can choose and I can delete those from the Zotero software.
I see. Thank you.
So I think that's it from my side.
Yeah, I think
Thank-
it was very useful. Thank you very much, Mushfiqur. It was very informative, very much informative, and a practical way, because like when I gave this lecture, I have been doing this screenshot and showing this to the participants or the people who are attending into this course. But we have got this practical experience from you, that you have been working on this and then how you're doing this. Yeah.
Thanks for letting me here
So
to
I
show
can
my
I can remember I was also using this RefWorks, but Zotero has been quite popular nowadays.
yeah, as it's free, so like open
Yeah.
source, people are using it for
Yeah, with RefWorks and EndNote, I think there's some payment kind of stuff. So
yeah.
that's the problem for some independent researchers if you don't have the access with the university.
True.
So thank you very much, Mushfiq, for showing the practical task. Now we move to the
You're welcome.
lecture again. So why I have shown this to you guys, because this referencing is pretty important when you write the your research paper, especially when you have a bunch of reference, because when you come up with the literature review, you might have more than 100 of reference, sometimes 200, 250. I have seen some papers that's exceptional, but more than 300 references. Mostly they are more with, could be medical or some that's very rare, but of course crossing over 100 it's quite not that uncommon. So referencing it's pretty important, and that's why extra time for you guys like to show. So just going to the next slide will take some time because of the technical network. Let's wait for something. Yeah, we're getting now. It's working now. So now we talk about this. Already have shown you guys the referencing, article writing. Of course, Mika has mentioned that he's using LaTeX. So some people are using Microsoft. Actually, most journal or conference paper, you can see that either they have Microsoft Word format or LaTeX format. So you can download those from their website. sometimes some journal, they do not ask you any particular format, or style, but they just have the instruction is something like that. You have to put some number of the column and following the size of the text and which font you would like to use, like Times New Roman or Calibri, whatever. So this is something, and then when you think of writing these articles, right? So Microsoft Word and LaTeX, it's something people are using it. And Overleaf, that is something, another way of doing the replication of LaTeX, because it is online version of the LaTeX, and which is quite free as well. You can download it from the Overleaf website. So what I'll just talk about more with this soon. Okay, now I am still facing problem with my technical problem again, just sometimes, sorry. Okay, guys, is it okay if I don't do this full screen because of the technical error? Sorry for that.
Yeah, sure.
It's because sometimes this Microsoft Team is not compatible with the laptops. Okay, so we talk about this article writing, then writing process. So these steps has been provided by Yari Porras, which we are now, it's quite interesting because I like it. But then again, I also have been using these. So you can just follow these pretty simple steps. So now, even when you're writing your literature review, you are working on your draft text. So you take the Word file. So of course, Windows 365, Dropbox, or OneDrive that you can think of. Google Drive as well. So Google Docs. So Google Sheet as well. Like what Abdul was telling, Microsoft Excel. This is something you can upload on the Google Excel sheet as well. So Google Sheet, and then you can share with your supervisor, with your peers, with your colleagues, and then see what sort of feedback you're getting from them. And LaTeX, of course, what Mika has been using. Then the second steps you go for modifying to follow the templates. So what you can think of Overleaf, I would say, because it's a very good tool that is good for the formatting and editing, because you don't have to write a lot. If you find the LaTeX a little bit difficult to follow, then just use that as a very pretty simple way. And finally, when you have this, you just go for submitting the files. So once you have the final version of your article, literature review article, or even any experimental study-based research paper, you submit into the submission page of those publication arenas. So, for example, most of them, when they ask for this PDF, but then IEEE sometimes makes problem. I can remember in 2017, I was struggling with some with some macro, something like that. So in that case, you have to see whether the PDF has some issue with that. So now we just move to the next slide. Let's see if this full screen is working or not. So then coming again with the overlay, why I was highlighting again, it's free and it's online LaTeX editor. So this is a pretty simple way. You can select which journal that you're focusing, which conference or ACM, IEEE, they have the ready-made format there. All you need to do is to just type like this. As you can see, I have an account with LaTeX. You can log on LaTeX even with your scope org ID. So if you have an org ID, you can log in from there. Or I think also it might be possible with the Google email as well, so you don't have to open an account. So, but this is something. But you can see that on the left side, you just have to put the text, and right side you can see your output is coming. I think to add the picture, you need to code something because of the size and font. Mika, would you like to share something when you add text? So the picture, because I know when you write the figure, you need to write some different instructions. I faced these things during my first journey with this LaTeX writing in 2016. Can you share something when you add a figure, what to do or how to do this thing? Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Just a sec. I actually have an article open in
Yeah, I think
Overleaf.
you can
So
share as well. It's
yeah.
nice for all of us. Thank you.
So this one here, it's a bit smaller since I don't have my second screen on at the moment, but
Yeah,
in any case,
that's nice.
so here, for example, is a command to make a figure. It should be around here somewhere. It plays around with the location of the figures a little bit. It's a bit tricky with LaTeX usually, because quite often LaTeX thinks that it knows better where you want the figures than you do. So it's usually a bit tricky. But yeah, here we go. That's the figures I was talking about. This is a bit complicated as an example because I have two figures there. These are like sub figures here, but essentially what you want to do is you first start sort of like a figure environment in the document, and then you include the image you want to have. This is the sort of like file name of the image, and you can just specify the width for it. Like this is quite a large image. If you just include it without this, it would look probably kind of weird. We can see what it looks like. Yeah, so it blows up a little bit. So you can just set it to be as wide as your text, or like 0.5 of the original width or whatever. And then you can add captions underneath, like here, defined here is the text. And then you can add a label to the text, so to the image or table or whatever you want. So if you want to reference the figures in the text later on, then you can just reference this label and it can like dynamically link it to the correct images. So it's quite handy. It's quite handy. And of course, the like formulaic, like equation formulation is quite nice in LaTeX. So this is the main reason I use this. Is this like mathematical stuff here?
Oh, true. Yes. Yeah. Any questions from Abdullah Mushfiq?
No, I haven't used it, so maybe I would give a try. Like how
It's pretty cool, actually. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yes. Once you just
So
know.
actually, I've been using it a lot. I mean, I was familiar with Mendeley, but Zotero was something new for me. And then I've been using LaTeX earlier, so it's nice. I have used Word as well, but it depends how much time you have. If you are comfortable in learning new tools and then implementing everything over there, it makes a lot of things easy, but it takes a bit more time.
Yeah. Thank you, Mika, for showing this.
Yeah.
Showing your text and everything. Thank you very much. So now we go to that tools slide again. It was good that Mika already showed this to us, so good for all of us. Again, I don't know what's went wrong with the laptop today. Probably I should stop doing this full screen. I just share the screen and let's try one more time. Yeah, okay. Now we talk about publishing the data. So you publish your work and how you are doing this and how to do this. Pretty simple thing. What was the first slide to talk about the Zenodo? It's an open repository. It has been developed by some. And now there might be question, hey, I have actually some online repository like academia, like ResearchGate, but these are actually for profit operations. And also there is also preprints.org as well, that where you can upload your data. Like I have been even using academia ResearchGate as well, but this Zenodo is open repository. You can, as you can see, I logged into my account, and you can basically select the communities from there. And once you select the community, there are some themes of the community, and based on that, you can upload your paper based on that domain of that community. So, and then people can see your work, and then of course you get more reads and more citations. So what it's bringing this tools lecture today as an outcome of this, you can think of your research about your literature review. Then question comes again, consider the tools that you are already using or you're thinking to use it in the context of literature review, writing paper, or even writing an experimental paper as well, or any sort of design-based paper or evaluation-based paper, whatever. And how do you find the quality when using tools? You get also get accustomed to the tools of different phases, because the tools that what we have been discussing. And please do check if they suit your needs, or it is not suiting your needs. Just find out. So thank you very much again for the first part of our lecture session today, which was more about the tools. And on the next part, we will be talking about the planning of the literature review, how we'll be doing this planning kind of stuff. We'll be taking some 10 minutes break, if it is okay. We'll be back at 1:15, so 9 minutes break, yeah. Questions? If no questions, then I'll go have my tea. So thank you again. Let me share the screen, please. Hope everyone can hear me, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So in this second part of today's lecture, we are talking about literature review planning, or planning for the literature review. So then the question comes again, why we always plan, why we need a plan for literature review? Of course, this is a systematic process, but then do we really need to go for any planning? Yes, of course, because it gives you these three key representations. So it gives you the clarity, reliability, where you can trust those articles or even the text from the references, so which is valid or widely accepted by the scientific community all around the world. even the publications, which is it the original trusted publication or a dodgy publication, which is sort of the gray literature, what we have mentioned into our last lectures. It also gives you the validity and repeatability. And the last thing is that bearing into your mind, literature review itself is an iterative process. So it's not like you are just starting from 0 to 100. But then again, if you go on the first or second floor of the building, so if you consider literature review as the building, you have to come to that first floor or even the ground floor or even the underground as well to check that if this is working properly or if there is any gap there to fulfill. And definitely these steps, right, is something quite fruitful for the PhD researchers who would like to use this plan for doing your literature review for your PhD thesis or even writing a literature review paper. Let me share this manually again. Serious trouble with this technical issues. Sorry for that. So planning literature review, how to plan it. This process has been provided by Old Dominion University in USA. 6 steps what these people have covered. The first steps is define your research question. What are you trying to find from that literature review as a part of your PhD topic, as a part of your research? And then once you define your concise and concrete research question, you go to plan your method or tactics to your research and your review. Then the third level comes search the literature. And once you have been able to go for the searching using the appropriate tools, you go analyze the materials you have found. So all the papers that you have downloaded or even you have been able to retrieve from the databases, you analyze the correct material, the filtered version of that materials which you need in your research. And then you do the managing the results of your research. And finally, writing a review. And all of it has a planning, a proper planning, right? So now how we'll be doing it, this process. So then backing up again, if you think about your research, right, what has happened in the last class, setting the skin stage, which we called the last time, you can think of a set of keywords of your research topic and search for literature review to check if this is there. And try your keywords together with literature review, systematic literature review, mapping study, or even systematic mapping study, or even scoping study. Then you can think of the expected outcome of your literature review and what do you really want from there. Then finally, if you find some literature reviews into your topic, check if they are really producing the expected outcome which you are planning to get as an hypothesis or as your prediction. So something to be thinking of. Just think of your own research and how you can just follow these things. Now, talking again, on the next slides, we talk about a review protocol. What is it? What does it mean by protocol reviewing? It is actually the plan for conducting the real or actual literature review. And the review protocol sets out the techniques that will be widely utilized in the review process. So decisions about, more precisely about the research question, review question, inclusion criteria, how you're including the papers, search strategies, so how you're searching with the keywords and search query, study selection, data extraction, how you are adding or deleting the data and the papers, quality assessment of the papers, and data synthesis and plans for the dissemination, which is the outcome. That needs to be addressed when you think about protocol review and do this actual reviewing. Okay, right. I need to contact these IT people for that, sorry. Right, so we just share the screen again and see what is going on with that next slide not going. So we just have to disconnect this. Right, so let's go with this because of the technical error again. So just using this minimize size. This is not even going there, right? So we already have described this protocol reviewing, and then we come up with the elements for protocol review. You can just think of these very important key elements, which are quite important for this protocol review. So the research question, primary study search strategy, study selection criteria, study selection procedures, study quality assessment and data extraction strategy, synthesis of the extracted data, and dissemination strategy. And the final one is project timetable, so the time by which you are just finishing the search process. So the research question again, what it talks. It's actually the center hub of the literature review. So the central, I would say, the heart of the literature review, because through the research question, you can set the keywords for search queries, and then once you have the search queries, which really supports you to find the proper primary studies, and then you can do the extract the data from the primary studies, and finally you can synthesize the data in a way that your research question will be answered properly. Now, when we talk about the search strategy, you have the search terms, so keywords, and thus the search queries, which we already did this exercise at the last class, if you can remember, and the assignments as well. So you have a search query, and then you can find out the data. But remember one thing, when you are looking on this online database, just bearing this in your mind that general guidelines tells to search at least minimum 4 different sources to be applied, such as IEEE, Elsevier, Springer, EBSCO, or you can be thinking of from your domain, which databases are important for you to get more papers. And also thinking about those fake publications. Fake means the gray literatures or the venue where the publications are being published. Selection criteria and procedure. So what studies to include and exclude, and you do this quality assessment when you think about the proper evaluation and checklist in the context of selection, performance, and measurement. So let's go then how to go for the search process. Just giving this example, practical example of what I have been doing in our research, what we have been trying to find this stakeholder engagement process. So as you can see, we put a table, category, and synonyms, so engagement and ecosystem. So the synonyms, as you can see on the right side, and the left side, you can see that how we have come up with this category and synonyms is based on our research question. So the example topic is stakeholder engagement and ecosystem approach. So basically what we are trying to find the engagement techniques in the context of ecosystem in the IT services. So the search query, as you can see with the bold color, engage or empower and stakeholder and ecosystem or network and method or approach. On the previous class, I also have shown this PDF file that how many papers we have come up with this search query hitting on the EBSCO and Scopus. So then once we have the paper, after doing the search query with this search query writing here, this is our search query. For example, we have hit this on the EBSCO or Scopus or even IEEE. Now we have the papers. What will happen next? Right, so we have, imagine we have 50 papers or 60 papers. We'll be doing which papers to select and which paper to delete. So exclusion and inclusion. It's very, very important when you do this literature review, especially because when you talk about the exclusion, what happened is people, even what Mushfiq was showing us today, if you can remember with the Zotero, that he had found some duplication in the referencing. So even when you search 3-4 databases, you can find some duplicated papers. So you just avoid those. Some of the papers are even not accessible. Delete those. Not even in English, delete those because you don't understand that. Normally in scientific writing, of course, a lot of countries, they have their own mother language-based publication, but normally in literature review for the international community, it's in English. So you take these English publications language. And then if there is only abstract available for the paper, you can delete it because you cannot get the main data, the main text. So how can you get the findings results from that paper? And also you have to be selecting from which year to which year you're choosing for the exclusion. Now, in the context of inclusion, you can think of the years and the primary studies are just giving an example of one of our papers. We have done this inclusion and exclusions, and you can see that we checked out some reports, some commentary letters and kind of stuff, literature that doesn't cover. And the aim was actually to identify relevant stakeholders, and this is how we did it. Quality assessment of the articles. This is something for you. A technique by Yaripros. What it's pretty simple that you can see. You can sort out your article with a research question 1 to 3. So if you have, like, for example, if you have 3 research questions for your literature review or for the paper that you're going to write or you're going to work on a thesis, try to find that in a way that you do the calculation and take those papers that you have downloaded or you have selected from those database searches, and you put this manual matrix. Is pretty simple. Yes, no, with the numbering 1.51, rating them, like which paper I'm rating, which is 10. And then in this way, you can do the leaderboard, dashboard, as a way which papers are more on the top priority. In this way, you can find the very key papers, like 30, the main papers, 30 papers, 40 papers, 20 papers that you're going to be selecting based on the rating numbering. So then again, we talk about data extraction and synthesis. Talking a bit more information the collected data helps you to answer about your research question. Google, etc. is a good technique to record the necessary data. And then the thing is that what you need to know is what happened with the data extraction is you sort of record the information what is obtained from the primary studies. And the data synthesis, it's the vision is show you how you will analyze and summarize the collected data. Of course, you may think of using narrative, quantitative, quality-driven synthesis, doing kind of data synthesis. It's up to you which one you're trying to show. So, for example, the paper the table which I have shown you into two slides before one, it was more about narrative synthesis paper which we looked on. So now think about your own research, and then of course on the last lectures what happened is you now have to you sort of have this understanding of clarified topic. So now you should have your own topic, what you are trying to find from the literature reviewing. So the proper objectives and the very preliminary keywords and search queries that you are really going to be using it in your literature review. And then you define the research question for your study. Then check various sources, IEEE Scopus SCM. Again, minimum 4 source, it's quite standard. And finally, planning a data extraction form. So, so that it really answers the questions of your research, so research questions. So again, talking about this, sort of giving you a small reminder, protocol reviewing, because we showed you how this protocol reviewing works. So the protocol reviewing comes about overcoming the limits of current knowledge in a determinate field. It's not my talking, it's from these people anyway, with the aims of bridging a gap. So when you do this review protocol, like the steps that we have described to you, you sort of trying to bridge the knowledge gap with this field. And in your case, because you're doing a doctoral research, you should be showing your research protocol to your supervisors to get the constructive criticism or feedback. It doesn't matter these are positive or negative, but all the comments that you get it from your supervisors or even from your peer colleagues, these are really fruitful for your research. And also one more thing important, which is validating your previous results obtained in a limited recourse when you do this protocol review. So now today we're very close to this second part of the lecture. So as an output of this planning stage, what we are assuming, what I can assume that you can have now an understanding, a draft, a knowledge or drafting about how to plan for a literature review. How can you go with your literature reviewing and define your research objectives and predefine your set of keywords? So the very keywords which will be used in your literature review. Selected data sources or the databases that you're going to use in your study. Preliminary search queries that you're going to use for each selected database. Now I have an answer for Abdul for this slide anyway. define primary study inclusion and inclusion criteria and data extraction form. And finally, draft knowledge of how you can analyze the extracted data. Questions from Abdul was whether you can have the search queries for database. Again, connecting with that, yes, you can have a few search queries for a few each selected databases. That's already in the slides. So thank you very much again for staying with us and for staying with this second part of these lectures today. And I would like to ask you, I'm hoping to be expecting questions from you, please. Thank you very much. Okay, I don't know. I cannot hear anything. I think something went wrong. Is that Mika? Hi. Are you talking, guys?
No. No.
Okay, that's okay. Sorry. Yeah, do you have any question?
I think so far so good. I have clarity on things now. Thank you for your kind guidance.
Thank you very much, Abdul.
Yeah, same. Not really anything to ask at the moment. It seems quite clear at the moment.
That's good. Okay, so yeah, so we can just maybe